Welcome to the Business and Financial Advice Show, Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly. Brought to you by Mega, the monthly entrepreneur growth academy, your very own group of professional peers offering instant tips, training, and business networking. Learn how to have more time and increase your income by joining Mega today. And now, here's your host of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, Nancy Becker.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, a podcast for and by business owners that are ready to get their business going in high gear and soar higher. I'm so excited today to have the Queen of Visibility with us. We are talking with Juliette Stapleton, and she's an internationally known visibility strategist, writer, trainer, and coach with thousands of students and clients from more than 30 plus countries. Juliette is recognized for her distinctive, authentic approach to growing online visibility with Facebook because she uses organic strategies and dives deep into the psychology behind the nature of connecting on social media and making buying decisions rooted in the know, like, and trust before buying into their decisions, services, and products. Building this connection authentically is at the heart of Juliette's trainings. With her online and coaching programs, in-house company training and consultancy, she shows them how to reach out and empower people worldwide while building the businesses and lives they truly love with ease. Welcome, Juliette.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I'm excited. When we connected a week or so ago. It hasn't really been all that long, but when I took a look at everything you have, I said, I got to have that lady on my podcast. She's exactly who I'm looking for to talk with. So I'm glad we were able to make it happen. My first question to you really is, and there's so many things that are spinning around in my mind right now, and talking about Facebook and everything, but why is just being visible important?
Well, there is a simple, obvious reason, and then of course many other reasons that come, hidden reasons that only come while you become visible. If your mission in life is to help other people with your products, with your services, make this world a better place, you cannot do it if you're not seen. If you're not seen by people out there. And sometimes we have internet, which is an amazing way of connecting with people from all over the world. And sometimes being in your own room, in your own house, in your own town, it's just not enough. It could be wrong location for what you're doing. Maybe there's just not enough like-minded people around. Maybe there is just people with a different mentality that doesn't fit the way you see the world. And that was my case, and that's why I started my visibility journey, because I needed more. And I see that a lot of times that would stop, feeling stuck stops people. And also the other thing is, the other end of that coin, the other side of that coin, is that people are afraid of how many people are in the world there. They think that if you become visible, then the whole world will look at you. You're in the spotlight. But it's not really like that, because everybody's distracted, and we have to be visible for so long, consistently and constantly be there to even be noticed by somebody, by a bunch of people. The good news is that we don't need billions of people to create the life of our dreams. We really need a bunch at a time. And this is such an amazing way when you're using something like social media. Facebook is brilliant because it allows us so many different types of content that we can produce. We can do videos, we can write, we can take photographs, so we can work for people who like listening to us or just watching us, or maybe people who really react to pictures. So it's very diverse network. So when we are becoming more visible and more active, and we send out friend requests, expanding our connections and build connections, actually acknowledging that there are people behind the profile pictures, and treating people as human, and really talking to them, treating them, validate for them that you appreciate that they're there. Magic happens. Magic happens in our businesses. Magic happens in our lives. And the most importantly, I think for me, magic happens that it's a journey of self-acceptance, because you have to push through a lot of resistances, and you have to really not open up your private life. This is not about that. It's about opening up to accept, that there are other human beings out there, and treat them. And the more you accept yourself, the easier this process is. And so while you're being visible online and attracting clients, to your business, you're also accepting yourself as who you are and showing up authentically, and your life becomes so much more in the flow and so much more fulfilling. And you start attracting only the right people, because while you're feeling like this, your energy attracts the same energy, is law of attraction. And so, I can say that now, just 2 years after I started, from feeling stuck and feeling completely alone and feeling that I didn't work with anybody who was my ideal client, right now, everybody who comes to me, even when I feel like it's accidental, they turned out that they are actually my ideal clients. So it's an amazing business then to have, because you feel really fulfilled and happy to work with people who really understand you on every level. So my whole approach to being visible, to attract the right person in your business, so your business is pleasurable. It's not a chore. It's not something that you come home or finish it and then you're saying, oh my God, I can't stand these people. They're wrecking my head. And I remember myself for years complaining to my husband about everyone I worked with, because I felt like I'm attracting bullies and people who didn't appreciate me, and people who didn't see me as an expert, and they would be happy to pay so much more to somebody else who says exactly the same thing. And yet it wasn't really all about that. It was my energy. And as I decided, no, you know what, I'm going to take control of that. And I want to attract only people who I share everything with. It goes so much beyond what we do in our business with people. It really does become personal. So when you're enjoying to work with a person who understands you on other levels, or shares some of your worldview, or probably understands what you went through and they went through a similar situation, maybe not exactly the same, but in some way, maybe they had everything and then lost something and rebuilt themselves physically or mentally. And that creates even stronger connection. And these are relationships that they are for life. And that's what I really enjoy in my business now. And that's what I help other people achieve.
Let's talk. You have said some wonderful, wonderful things in there, but let's start to dissect this a little bit. I know my readers are saying, oh, that's great, but how do I actually do that? And so if we're trying to build a relationship with people on Facebook, and we're trying to be ourselves, we still have to figure out who our ideal client is. Because if you're selling refrigerators, as an example, you don't want to try selling them to the Eskimos.
Oh, yes, of course. So if you're selling something, if you have a local business where you really need local people to come in, there's no point then, targeting people on another continent to come, So that's where the strategies come in. And that's where there is, with the ideal client, you see, a lot of times people get very confused. That was the biggest confusing moment for me. Because one thing is to say, okay, well, I want to work with people who are, maybe coaches, consultants, maybe healers, or someone who represents their business. This is my ideal client where I start with, but that's not enough, because that doesn't make somebody who works in these industries doesn't just automatically become my ideal client. So I remember in the very beginning when people were saying, you need to know your ideal client, that was extremely confusing. So what happens is that you start somewhere, and if you have a local business, then you need to become more visible and maybe expand your connections. And can I just do a quick disclaimer, because the readers who are listening, need to know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the scariest thing ever is to use your personal profile to build your visibility and authority. I'm not saying commercial gain here, because commercial gain comes as you become more visible and build relationships with people. That's the next layer. People want our energy. People follow each other on Facebook. If you see somebody with a big following, that person has something in their personality that's magnetic. And so people sort of in a way feed on the energy. So by embracing this, we don't even need to try to figure out who we are. All we need to do is accept who we are as we do it, not even in the beginning. We don't need to be clear. We don't need to be ready. We just need to start being more active, start sharing, creating content that is empowering, sharing our worldview, sharing our opinions that can better this world. Not just, not rants, not things that create negativity, things that will help somebody out there to move forward. They don't even have to be related to your business. This is the secret. Start showing up as who you are with the view to make this world a better place. And then as you do that, you expand your connections. That's where the strategy comes in. That's where you need to know. Obviously, if you have a local business, you will be befriending people who are living in the local area, and Facebook can give this information to us. It's quite easy to find people through groups you share, through events you were on together. You can even, when you network offline, obviously you can connect to people on Facebook. It's all about just asking for, let's connect on Facebook. So after that, the next stage is being consistent, because it's not enough to post something once a week and then say, oh, well, that didn't work for me. Because we have 1.5 billion users on Facebook, for example, of Facebook alone, and everybody's posting. Some people and pages insane amount of posts, and some maybe not that much, but all of it all together, it's like a sea, it's like a waterfall of posts all the time. This information is being bombarded. We are being bombarded. That's why we have algorithm that decides what to show, what not to show, because otherwise we wouldn't even be able to see anything. It would be just literally like a waterfall, like blur. So we need to be in that blur of posts, or in that waterfall of posts. We need to be there often enough for people to start noticing us. So we really need to be there daily. But you can say to me, but that can take over my life. Well, that doesn't have to take over your life. You can just spend 15 minutes to half an hour a day on your visibility, which is such a huge part of building your business that you really need to spend 80% of your time when you're growing your business on that, right? This is an investment of time that will pay off. It won't pay off in a week. It won't pay off in a month, but it will pay off over time, in a year's time, in 2 years' time, and that's how businesses grow, so we have to be realistic. A lot of people expect instant gratification, they think that they did a live video and then nobody engaged and they get so upset, but this is not a performance. Visibility is a very long game. It's not a microwavable process. So when I started 2 years ago, I had absolutely no proof that I have it, I have the X factor or something. I had no proof that it's going to work. All I had was my dream and my goal. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes, because I want to live the life of my dreams. I want to make sure that I never feel stuck. I feel in control. I have a choice, and I have security, but most importantly, choice. I have a choice in terms of how my time is spread. So I want to be so flexible in my business that if I decided that I want to go and treat my husband to a cup of coffee right now, that I can do this. And it was something that I had to create. So I just focused on this and started trying everything. And in 2 years, yes, I took U-turns, and it's not A to B straight line journey. It's like zigzag and go back and then come back and leap forward, go back again. This is a normal way of growing your business as an entrepreneur. But when you look back and you say, oh my God, I just realized that people who I'm working with, new people who are coming to me, they're actually great people. They're people who I really, really love. They're like-minded people that I don't even have that many like-minded people in life as friends physically that I see, as I find online. And that's how then you start understanding who your ideal client is, because you start figuring out who are these best people to work with that you absolutely love. And then that's why I'm saying now that I see everybody who's coming in, even sometimes somebody joins, my funnel, a challenge or something, and I don't know if they're going to be my ideal client, if they're going to buy into my products. And then all of a sudden, when we end up on a call or they join my program, I realize this person fits the whole bill. But it is a process where you just need to be consistent and showing up, dedicate, and be brave, because it's very scary to use your personal profile. But actually, it's only scary because you think that it's so visible and important. You think maybe it's in the center, and then the Facebook is sort of like the world around it, where it isn't. We're just a drop in the ocean. All we have to do is try and make our ripple bigger, and that's it.
You're listening to the Business and Financial Advice Show, Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, with your host, Nancy Becker. There's lots more to come. Nancy and her guest will be right back. Are you a small business owner wondering about your next step for growth and success? What if you had your own dynamic group of professional peers, a group that supports your business with fresh new ideas, beneficial training, accountability, and more? Mega, the monthly Entrepreneur Growth Academy, is a professional peer advisory group dedicated to supporting fellow business owners. Learn about processes and strategies that will get you more time and money.
When I first joined the Mega Group, I was struggling in a business that wasn't right for me. Now, I own a local business where I live out my passion every day. Last year, the revenue of my business tripled, and we are on track to hit even bigger goals this year. The accountability and feedback of the Mega Group have been invaluable.
The Mega Group can help you focus on the right things and start building momentum. Join the Mega Group today at don'twaittillpigsfly.com.
Do you feel frustrated, disconnected, or unfulfilled in your relationship? If you said yes, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Anza Goodbar, intimacy coach and sex educator. Nearly 70% of all couples in the U.S. claim to be dissatisfied with their relationship. But the good news is you don't have to be. If you're ready to open your heart to feel more connected to life, yourself, and your partner, join me and 5 couples at the Intrinsically Intimate Couples Retreat in Barbados. You can find out more details at www.anzagoodbar.com/retreats.
They're big, they're shy, they're invisible, and they fly. They're always late. They never arrive. Don't wait till pigs fly. Get your business momentum in action. Let's rejoin our host of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, Nancy Becker.
There is no rule that we can't talk about our business. There is a rule that we can't use our personal profile for commercial gain, which means that you can't say, buy my product. You can't really put posts that are directly bringing people to sales pages. And you have to be careful with that kind of open call to action. However, if you're an entrepreneur, you probably know that your partner in life is sick and tired of listening about your business. I speak about my business 99%. I struggle to find something to speak about sometimes because I'm so caught up in my business in my head. So if I'm like this with my husband, the person I love most in the world, so of course I'm going to be like this with everybody else on Facebook and beyond. So in a way, yes, but you have to find the balance. The Facebook or any social media network is like a big party, and you have to think about who do we not like on the parties. We don't like people who come up to you and they'd be like, you know what, I sell these refrigerators, and if you feature me on your website, I'm going to give you 50%, I'm going to give you 70%. And then they walk behind you. A friend of mine was saying this happened to her on the party where she got recognized as a marketer, and this guy kept following her on the whole party. We hate those people. We hate people who are loudly talk about themselves and what they do, and they know it all. We hate those people too. So we kind of need to think about what is the normal behavior with the other human beings, say on the social occasion, because Facebook is social network. It's not networking event. It's not a conference room. It's not. It's just we're a party. So we have to break the ice, and we have to, talk a little bit. It's like if you were standing there by the food stall and you can say, what do you think about that sushi? I love that sushi. Like, no, I didn't really like that one. Don't try that one. That's horrible. And that's how we use you. First of all, you get a feeler if that person is even into sushi. Maybe they don't care, and then they will have a blank face and they'll turn away. And that's okay, because that means that's not a match. So you'll start talking about sushi to someone else. And that's how we find our common grounds. And through common grounds, we build some sort of connection. And then through the connection, what happens is that people start paying more attention to you because you'll become familiar, because you have some common ground. And while they're paying attention, they will either really like you or not, just like in life. They will either like your personality or not. Those who like your personality will either need what you do in their lives or not. And so it's a funnel. It really is a funnel of life. And just like in the real offline world, if we were on a social gathering, and you might at the end of the social gathering get yourself a business partner or two, that happens so much. Yeah. So when we see social media the same way, and honor that relationships are still the same, because it might be a piece of technology, but it connects real people. So my whole philosophy here is that, yes, you can use your personal profile. And by the way, when you're showing up, people don't want to hear. That's why I said, who do you not like? If I show up and in every of my videos, I will show as an expert, that's a little bit boring, overwhelming, and I also will put people off. But if I sometimes just show up and share with them, how I believe in my dreams and how I am a master of my dreams come true, and I know even the energy, how they come true, and I trust, and I can actually break up how the dreams can come true process. These are the videos that people really love, because it's not really the expertise, or I'm not going to put call to action, by my course at the end of the video, but there is so much connection, and sometimes, occasionally, not all the time, you can show up and talk about your difficulties in life as well, because everybody will say, well, you know what, I actually feel the same, and I didn't know that there's other people who feel that they're struggling with this. I have these conversations with my students a lot, especially in terms of visibility, because, as human beings, we are very dynamic creatures, but like in this nature, on planet Earth, we have a day and night, and we are not creatures that operate 24/7. There's time to expand and be active, but there's also time to contract and sleep or rest or recharge. And that's what happens with the visibility. It's like waves, and sometimes you're really on the ball, and you produce so much, and then for 2 weeks afterwards you'll have nothing is coming out, and everybody's experiencing this, and it's okay. But a lot of people feel like it's them, and they start getting really hard on themselves without understanding that this is actually a natural thing. So I have tons of strategies that when you are experiencing that low period, that it's very difficult for you to show up and give you energy, you can still appear visible to your audience, but you will then recharge and get back on track. It's always all about getting back on track and not allowing yourself to completely fall off the wagon and stop. It's the same with exercise. It's the same with eating healthy. It's the same with being visible. So same approach. So consistency. Being, understanding the motion and talking about and being yourself, and basically just being yourself authentically, which is easier than a lot of people think, because it's a simple thing. You just need to be yourself and accept that with your imperfections, doesn't matter how you look, doesn't matter how you speak, doesn't matter, what your hair looks like or whatever, you do your best. But it's the same if you went out. How much effort would you put into going out? The same effort should go into your videos. That makes you. And that's something, these are simple things, and we just overthink. We overthink everything.
Oh, people that's being a human, is overthinking things, I think. Let's talk for a second about my business, this podcast. Everything I do is all about creating the strategies and the processes that are going to make your business easier for you. You're mentioning that you have a lot of strategies, especially for when you're in the down part of of the flow. Let's talk about one. Can you give us an example of one that you
Absolutely. I'm so happy to share. It's not a big secret, but there is a very good advice I can give you. Of course, you need to be active on Facebook, right? I'm talking about daily. You need to post something, you need to create conversations, you need to create discussions. What I do with my content is I save my content. If I write a long post, which we should, because through writing we connect to people who like reading. So I always save all my long posts. I have a Trello board where all my long posts, together with the pictures that I posted with that post, they're all there, and I organize them into themes. So for example, there's always have to be a purpose for your content. Even if you're not selling directly off your personal profile, there's still such a thing as indirect selling. It basically boils down to the psychology of we don't like being sold onto, but we love buying. So when we get excited, we want to buy. So when we're producing content or creating content, for us to mention things. So it's not like, oh, buy from me, but I can say something, oh, in my new program, I'm so excited because my students are going to get so much value. And that's it. I just see the fact that I have a program, then these students are getting value. It's all about seeding this content. So every time I have a launch, for example, I run this 11-day live video challenge. I run it regularly. It's my signature challenge. I would have content that I'm writing, and everything is really about how transformational this challenge can be and the results. And I save all those posts. So on the times, for example, right now, there's a challenge about to start in a couple of weeks. And this week I was just talking before this podcast started recording that, oh, I'm feeling so low this week. And so this is when I have a bank of posts, and all I have to do is go in there, have a look, that edit it a little bit, just change that if there was anything time sensitive mentioned, and I can post it back onto my profile. Why am I doing that? You can ask me, but sure, you already used that post. Because there's billions of users and so many posts daily are posted. Something that you posted last month, nobody will remember now. They might remember that you spoke about it, but will they remember that you verbatim, word by word, said the same thing? No, they won't. And so you still can stay visible while you allow yourself that time to recharge. As long as you're still going to push yourself into the active mode, seek that inspiration, maybe read a book, watch something inspirational, try and write something shorter, maybe just to get back into the flow. It's not good enough to just say, okay, well, that's it. I have tons of content and I'm just going to post that and not try and go back on track. You still need to get back into the creative mode, but it's okay to take a day or 2 or 3 and just take a breather. Anything can happen. And that's where that strategy is very handy.
I love that. And I do that myself. And in fact, right now, I've been going back and sharing my podcasts from a year ago, and that helps in a couple of ways. It gets people that didn't hear them in the first place to hear them. It gets more visibility for the guests who are on there. And, so I agree totally with what you're saying. There's much to be said about repurposing in a many, many different ways. While we're talking about Facebook, and I live on Facebook, I'm on there, 20 out of the 24 hours a day. But there's so much recently happening with Facebook that I've been reading in a lot of the articles that people are leaving in droves. They're just going away. And I know every day something new comes out. Well, you can't do this anymore, and you can't do that anymore. What's your reaction to all of that?
Well, to be honest with you, there is no really solid evidence that people are leaving Facebook. In fact, Facebook is very strong, and a lot of generations are only on Facebook. Like there's a certain level of age after that age and onwards. My mom is 78; she's on Facebook. There's people who are on Facebook. Gary Vee, last year, it was December 2018, and he said, "My focus in 2019 will be on Facebook on people from 45 to 90. because I believe that that's the age where people still have a lot to give. And I agree with him. In fact, I have students in their 60s and clients in their 60s who are absolutely killing it. This, like, there is this marriage of experience and passion and free time, and it's all coming together. So, and Facebook is such a wonderful platform. So I don't believe that people are leaving, but people who are leaving Facebook could be people who actually are afraid to connect to other people face to face, because where Facebook is heading is much more personal connection. So I am here rubbing my hands. Everything I've been talking and preaching, for the last 2 years is all now becoming even more prominent and stronger. So communities, which is groups, one-on-one connection versus just pages posting some advertising content. So in a way, I think that Facebook is morphing into something that will be so much more personal, so much more private. So people who are concerned with privacy, it will be much, much better. You won't be bombarded with so much negativity from news companies and, other kind of trashy type of content, and you will be able to have much more control of who you want in your community. So for marketers or for anyone who has an online business, this is an opportunity now to really focus on creating your group, creating your community, supporting them. Obviously free support has to have some sort of, boundary. Not that you don't need to share a lot of value. I am so for sharing, but, obviously there is some certain ways that you manage your groups, but it's all about face to face, in a way, being there, treating people as humans and not just talking at them. I think people are, the whole concept of hiding, it's so much bigger than it might come across, because there are so many ways of hiding that people use, that they don't even realize that they are doing this, and sometimes even, producing a lot of content, but not connecting and talking to people privately is a form of hiding. It's easier to stand on stage and just say something, then turn away and go away, than actually go to a networking event and shake each other's. I'm a very, very extreme introvert, guys. For me, going to a networking event and shaking everybody's hand is so hard. But when I came online, I realized that that's actually the only way. And yes, some people, it won't work out. Like I was talking about the party, sometimes there won't be a match. And it's okay. The most important thing is just not to take it seriously, not take it personally. And it's like a big queue of people, and you're just sorting them. And there's always going to be more people, as long as you're expanding your audience. And you will get really, really good ones that will make your day every time, and you get great conversations and goofy conversations and conversations, that will just lighten up your day after a hard week. It's, there's so much goodness in talking and communicating with people. And that's where we're heading with Facebook. How it's going to look like, what it's going to be exactly, we don't know, because we're literally at the start of the changes. The changes are now implemented literally daily. So if you see your Facebook apps glitching and different things not working, don't panic, because every time some new feature is released, it's like a ripple effect and all the bugs, as Facebooks we call it. That's okay. So I would say take it one step at a time. Don't read too much. People like hyping up everything. Don't read too much into what's happening. Just every time the new feature comes out, check it out and try and embrace it, because Facebook will reward you for using whatever. If they say stories is the future, start using more stories. And stories are great for visibility, because they're a very prominent feature. If Facebook says do more live videos because we like the interaction that you can have, then do more live videos and invite people to join your videos before and after. So it's not just go live and then you say, oh, nobody watched my video, but you didn't do the work, right? This is all about the work, and the work pays off. It pays off. The time that you spend will pay off, and you don't need to be, when we say we're 20 hours on Facebook, if we're really honest about how many hours we actually work, do the work, that's a different story. You can really spend like half an hour, and how much is it of investment of a time to spend half an hour a day on building your future? It's not that much. And if you say, I don't have time in my day, well, you either not prioritizing things and you're getting yourself very disorganized during the day, or if you have a tight schedule, wake up half an hour earlier and have that me time. Early in the morning, things, even the content is so much easier to create when the house is quiet and you're the only one, you're only one awake. You can always find time, but it's how you use it. And I think that it's so worth, for me, I see, 2 years ago, I was working with people who I absolutely detested and I felt stuck with. I felt very insecure because I felt like if they go, I didn't know how to find more clients. Everybody came to me through word of mouth. And I had no idea how to even do a professional pitch. I didn't ever had to do it. And I had a digital marketing agency with basically packed with clients, local clients. But I didn't like them because they didn't have the mentality and we were not connected on any level, and I just felt really bad. And then my husband got sick and it was a real, serious diagnosis and my world just got shuttered. And I said, no, I refuse to take this as given that everything's going to just shutter. Yes, I can't win my husband's battle. It was his, it wasn't my choice. And I was preparing for anything, but I said, okay, but I'm going to prepare also for like plan A where he recovers. And then we have this life that we enjoy living. And I never focused on the moment when he recovers. I focused on that moment of the great life and enjoyable life and flexibility and freedom, financial freedom. And that was 2 years ago. That was April 2017. And now it's May 2018 when we're recording this. And 2 years on, my whole business is global. I have thousands of students, probably at this stage more than 30 plus countries. And everything, my whole income is coming from this business. I have only one client left here in Ireland, and she is now my best friend in Ireland too, because when you show up as who you are, people sometimes start seeing, and even though we work together and I didn't know we're going to be friends, it's really like an interesting turn. And yet she saw the side of me that I wasn't showing to her, and I didn't, know that she has the same side, and now we're so close. Because when you show up as who you are, you really will attract people who are like you.
What does business success look like to you? What does business success feel like to you? What stands between you and that feeling? Business success is all about momentum. Mega, the monthly Entrepreneur Growth Academy, will help you focus on the right things and start building that momentum. The Mega Group is a network of dedicated professionals. They provide focused training and excellent support as only a personal advisory group can. Learn tips, strategies, and valuable insights to unleash your productivity. Isn't it time to stop spinning your wheels? Go to don'twaittillpigsfly.com and join the Mega Group today.
Radio and podcast shows are the fastest growing media of the decade. The better the sound, the better the impact you will have with your listeners. Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a producer-editor for radio and podcasts. If you have your own podcast, I can help with editing, improved audio quality, your own theme music, and intros and outros. Would you like a commercial for your small business? Connect with me for a sound approach to your podcasts and commercials. My email is scott@worldwithinreach.com. scott@worldwithinreach.com. Let's rejoin our host of Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly, Nancy Becker.
It's a very positive journey. You're not going to be, thrown rotten tomatoes at, unless you want to show up like that. Some people show up in a very aggressive and negative way, and they get trolls, and they get, it's really, your energy will get that energy. I only had one troll. And I don't think he was very well in his head. So I can allow, when something happens to me, I just take a snapshot of whatever happens, and I either blur the name or not if it was too bad. And I just have a little fun and I post it.
And I think that's a really interesting word, fun, because I think it's important, whatever you're doing in life, to have fun. When, as a business owner, we spend, like you said early on in this conversation, you spend almost every waking moment, and I even have dreams all night long about my business, so I am living. And and when I say I spend 20 hours on Facebook, and mine usually is work. I'm in the different groups, I'm writing comments, but I can't get up and go out anyplace. I am disabled, I'm homebound, so the computer is my world. But I'm having fun doing it, and so I think we need to make sure that we do add a little bit of fun as value to our clients as well.
I have a great analogy with this. If anyone has to start a workout routine or physiotherapy or anything in the beginning, it's such a horrible time, and it's painful, and it's pushing you to the limits at every possible level, and it's just so unpleasant. And yet, not maybe with physiotherapy, I have never went through, where I had to recover physically, but mentally I did. But if you are doing a fitness routine and then you get into that within a few weeks, you love it. You love exercise. You're like, let's push it a little bit. You're enjoying pushing yourself. And so when you become visible, it's the same thing. In the beginning, it just feels so scary and so, like you're pushing something up a steep hill, but that's not because it's actually what's happening. What's happening is you're questioning every of your decisions. It's all like inner sabotage is happening. You're very careful. Like somebody didn't reply to your message, you get upset. It's a waste of time and activities. But as the time goes, you start finding the more easy going you are, the more you see this as just a group of people, and it's okay to just chat to someone. And if they don't want to chat to you, that's fine too. There's so many other ones. You just turn around like children. Imagine a toddler running around. There's a group of kids here, a group of kids there. He came up to this group. They ignored him. He just turned around and went to another group. And that's how we should be. That's how we should be doing it as well. And then you're just having fun. You're not, you're not overwhelmed with your big mission of becoming visible, because you don't need to. You can really have fun. I think that the more simpler you take it, you don't try to sell anything on anybody, you don't try to push anything on anybody, but you are still there. And because you're there, people get an impression that you are going to be there when they invest with you. It's more about being there, building that trust. And, on the other side, you should always be there too. And I pride myself on being there after the transaction, but I think that this consistency, this whole thing on fun is so important. And when you don't have fun, especially while you're being visible, the energy, because it's all about the energy. In the beginning I said people feed on the energy, and you can sell with your personality. But if you're pushing something on people, if you're pushing either knowledge or sales or something, it's all coming through that horrible energy. So you're either going to get horrible clients who will treat you just in the same horrible way, or none, because you're pushing people. But if you're just yourself, and you mention things that you don't really like, you almost detach yourself from the outcome. And that's one of the ways how your dreams can come true, when you detach yourself from the outcome and you just let it align in your life and pull it in. And, it's a wonderful state to be.
I think somebody in the universe here is telling me things, because I have been hearing the same thing over and over and over again. Just, when you are so worried about making that sale, it doesn't happen. But if you say, I'm just talking to this person, and I had an example of that yesterday. A woman connected with me on Facebook and was talking about things, and she was asking me all these questions, and I went, okay, well, I'm going to ask her a few questions too. And so she had these couple of part-time businesses, and she was working full-time, and I was saying things like, why did you start these part-time businesses? That's a part of what I do for my business, is figure out where you want to go, and I create the roadmaps and all of that. But we started talking, and she said, I don't know, I needed this and I wanted that. And I went, okay, well, let's just think about this for a minute. And I actually gave her the first strategy that I give for everybody that I start out with as clients. But I did not say one word about, if you want more information, you can always buy into my group. I just said, hey, I hope this helps you. If you've got any more questions, I'm always around. Just give me a holler. Well, later that afternoon, she came back to me and said, I want to join your group. So it really does work that way. It's amazing.
It's so true. And there is when you're starting a little small thing of people trying to reach out to you and pick your brain, and a lot of people get frustrated. A lot of my students get frustrated, and they're like, oh, they approached me and then picked my brain, and then when I sort of started talking about maybe work together, they were saying, oh, I can't afford this. But that's then that's where another part of building your visibility comes, and this is more about building your authority and creating a profile that represents you as authority. And when you are represented as authority, you will intimidate the people who are trying to pick your brain. You will attract people who they won't dare to ask you for information for free. I don't even remember last time anybody reached out, sort of, can I pick your brain? Can we meet for a coffee? And I ask you a couple of questions, because the way I represent myself is completely, out of reach for that level. And that's where you need to focus on building your authority. So one thing is being active and connecting to people, but parallel to that, you need to build your authority. So you maybe get published in some online publications, which is much easier than it sounds to many people. And it makes a huge difference, because you can add logos to your profile and say, I'm a contributing writer for this and this and this and this. And that, people judge the book by the cover. So let's create a really nice, shiny cover. Eliminate by that, intimidate and eliminate people who are not ready to work with you, and those who are ready, they will reach out. And yes, there's no need to push a sale. There's no need to in fact, I am the queen of the most laid back webinars, because when I have my challenges or something at the end, I need to do a sales training, I am there almost half lying down on my couch with my hands behind my head, telling them, and I have my boot camp, and that's what we learn. And I don't even go and and feel like I have to sell, because the energy changes the moment you start talking about something with the view to sell it. The energy changes, and not everybody has this natural gift of staying natural and not allowing it to affect them. And it definitely affects me. I joke on prices. I can't say how much my coaching is, because I joke in it if I try and sell it. But if I just admit this, and I just say to these guys, I am not good at this, right? So let me just tell you what I have. And you know what? If you're ready. I believe in perfect match. I believe in the perfect timing for you. I will never push you into a sale. I will never do objection handling, because I do objection handling with my content. I don't need to do it on calls. I don't need to do it on my webinars. And it feels so good. And at the end, I say, okay, well, have a great weekend, and you can reach out to me anytime. That's it. And, just last weekend, I did that kind of webinar in one of the groups. And over the weekend, I had my wedding anniversary. I wasn't working at all. And a couple of conversations, and I made $3,000. And just like, I didn't expect. I did not really expect. I had my program full. I didn't even need extra students in it. And this is it. This is the power of selling with your personality, when you don't even have to sell. And it's just by being there, being who you are, and just accepting yourself as who you are. Magic happens, and sales do happen.
I love it. I love it. Well, Juliette, we're getting to the end of our time. Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to share with the listeners here?
Well, I think we covered so many aspects. I'm trying to think of what may be the best advice I can give you. The best advice I can give you is just make a decision if you want to make your dreams come true. And that will determine how active you will be on Facebook, or anywhere else you decide to become active on, and how much effort you will be prepared to spend. And of course, in the beginning, you have to spend much more effort, like with everything, But you have to ask yourself, do I want my dreams to come true so badly? I'm ready to trade my life for it. I'm ready to sacrifice some things in my life so my dream life can happen. And if the answer is yes, you will feel that everything is so much easier to do. And if the answer is not really, then maybe those are just fantasies. Maybe they're not meant to happen for you. So ask yourself that question. But if it is a yes, then just take action. Don't wait for anything. Don't wait for clarity, for being ready. A small little action every day will take you to that dream life much faster. So take that action.
I love it. That's wonderful. One of my programs that I sell is called, it is based on SMART goals, but it is so much more than SMART goals, because there's a quote out there, and I don't know who it was that said it, but a goal without action is nothing more than a dream.
It's so true. I actually think I have it printed out as a quote from 2 years ago somewhere on my cork board here, because that was something 2 years ago I saw, and I just printed out. I said, this is it. If you don't take action, it's just a dream, not even a dream. I like the word dream that comes true. So it's a fantasy. It's something like you went to sleep and that's what happened. You woke up to reality then.
So with everything that we do, I have them start out with, where do they want to be in 5 years? And how the heck are they going to get there? And then they pull together all of these goals that are steps to get them to where they want to be. But then it even goes farther, and they have to, okay, I want to be making $500,000 on my groups in the next year. Well, how the heck am I going to get to $500,000? Well, first of all, people have to know I'm there. I have to be visible. So I've got to be on Facebook. I've got to make 10 calls a day. I've got to send out 50 emails. I've got, whatever. And you write those down. And then when you do them, you check them off. And that's one, I call it a small win. For every small win, you grow towards that, dream or that goal down in the end. And I think that's so true. And I think you have to do that in order to have a successful business. But then again, you got to define successful. I run into so many people that think a couple of $100 a month is success. And
well, a success is different for everybody. And of course, if you have nothing now and you're going to say, I want to make $500,000 this year in 12 months, that's a very unrealistic goal, because it's going to take you longer to get there. But if you say, I want to make $50,000 this year, that's a more realistic goal. And you still have to work really hard in the beginning. And when you have that kind of SMART goal system where you create yourself a plan, and even you say, okay, today I'm going to send 10 friend requests, and everyone who replies to my friend request, I'm going to send them 10 messages. Okay, maybe 5 will reply, maybe 2 will create a chat, but maybe 1 of them will join your free group, but over time, that's every day. So in 30 days, there will be 30 people who are interested in what you're doing. They join the group because they're interested in what you're doing. And then when you're doing something in the group, there could be 2 people that bought into your program. That's worth it. And depending on how much your programs or services, or if you're, the cheaper stuff that you are selling, the more people, the easier for people to buy it. It's not that it's easier to market, but it's easier for people to make a buying decision, provided they really need it still or want it. So, but it's true. The goal setting is important. It doesn't, not everybody, I am very desperate with goals, because, I can't work by targets. That really overwhelms me. But I find that I found a balance between, I still have a target. I still have, something I want to achieve, but I just don't think about it too much. I just do it, 10 people. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to overwhelm myself. Oh, I need 10 people. It's just like what you fixate on. So if you're not really like a person who naturally likes setting goals, then just don't fixate on it. But still, you need to still create yourself a system, because you will get much more results when you have systems. It's a wonderful program you have.
Thank you. How does someone get a hold of you? They've listened to this conversation and they go, man, I want to be in her group. I want to be in her programs. What do they need to do?
The easiest way, guys, is go to JulietteStapleton.com. All the links are there in the menu. There's a link to my free group, Social Media Visibility That Gets Clients. You can hook me up on your Facebook. You can search for the Queen of Visibility, Juliette Stapleton, and I'm gonna pop up on one of those anyway. Send me a friend request or follow me on my personal profile. That's where the magic happens. And definitely, I'm so glad to connect to as many people as I can.
Wow, wonderful. This has been a fantastic conversation. I've learned a lot. I know everybody listening has learned a lot, and I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us today. Thank you so much. And for everybody listening, you know that this will be live on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. at Don't Wait Till Pigs Fly. If you have any questions or comments, you can just please send us an email right down below here where you're listening to it, and share these with your friends, with your business contacts, and download, subscribe. We've always got a great amount of information for you. So until next time, everyone, don't wait till pigs fly, but soar higher now. Y'all take care.
That's our show for today. We'd like to extend special thanks to our great guest, our sponsors, and our wonderful listeners. Today's show was produced by Scott Card. To find more of Nancy's podcasts and our sponsors, go to don'twaittillpigsfly.com.